Jalsa Salana UK holds many exhibitions. One such exhibition this year is the life-size replica of the historic Turin Shroud.
My name is Pam Moon, and I come with an organisation I call the Shroud of Turin exhibition. The Turin Shroud is a linen cloth that's about 14 and a half feet long, and on it is the image of a man who has been crucified, the front and the back, you can see both sides. There's a lot of blood. A lot of people would say that it covered Jesus, Isa, that it's the cloth that he was wrapped in.
My name is Barry Schwartz. I was the official documenting photographer for the Shroud of Turin Research Project. It's a team that performed the first ever in-depth scientific examination of the Shroud of Turin in 1978. Our team in 1978 went there primarily to answer a single question: how is the image formed? And so most of the testing that we performed was basically designed to help answer that question by gathering data, chemical, spectral, and photographic data that could ultimately be used after we returned to further our studies and ultimately determine what the image formation mechanism might have been. And I was one of several Jewish team members, and I think we represented every denomination all the way to agnostic and atheist on the team. So my interest really stemmed from that. 20 years later, after seeing the media not reporting very fairly and honestly about the Shroud,
I think obviously there are two colours on the Shroud. There's the colour of the image of the man, and then there's the colour of the blood. We know it's blood. One of the things that the STURP team discovered was that it's got an AB blood group, that it is blood, it's got hemoglobin. But in order to understand the nature of the injuries and what caused the blood, I brought along some things like a crown of thorns, a whip, or flagrum, as they were called, a Roman flagrum. I bought some original first century nails, so you can have an idea of the kind of nails that they would have used, just so you can get an idea of the pattern of blood flow.
A couple of our guys went to a laboratory in near Los Alamos, the Sandia Laboratory, is another national laboratory in the United States. And their gentleman had a device called a VP8 image analyzer. He was using it primarily to evaluate x-rays. Put a shroud image in there and you get the natural relief of a human form. Now that was astounding because photography doesn't encode depth information. You know, in photography, depth is implied by shadow and highlight, but it's still two-dimensional. What's embedded in the shroud image is proportionate to the distance between the cloth and the body, so it's actual topographic information. The primary image behind me is a life-size, natural color replica of the shroud. That's exactly what it looked like when I made the photographs in 1978. The problem with that is the actual image on the shroud is only 10 or 15% darker than the background. So it's very subtle, and there are so many markings on it, scorches and burns and patches and holes, that it has a tendency to confuse the uninitiated viewer and makes it very difficult to see what's really important, which is between those lines of burns and scorches. We're going to take a look at the shroud again here, with this time on the black and white negative view that I call the negative view. This is where the lights and darks of the shroud have been reversed, and where we've improved the contrast or enhanced the contrast slightly to make it easier and add more contrast to make it more visible to the viewer. So again, if we start at the top, you see the blood stains at the top of the head. This marking here is below the chin is simply a crease, but some artists through the centuries who have looked at the shroud have incorporated that into their artwork as if it were part of the image, when in fact it's not. If you come down, you'll see there are scourge marks on the front of the body. Here's one of those large water stains. And of course, you can see these patches, which were sewn in during the repairs in 1534. Now you can much more clearly see the arms with the blood stains. Of course, they're light and dark reverse, so they're white in this view. We see the exit wound of the crucifixion nails at the back of the hand. We see the hands, we can even see the fingers. We go further down, again, we have another one of these large water stains, and we go all the way down to the nails in the feet. Again, from the shroud, it's very difficult to know for certain whether it's 3 nails were used or 4 totaling.
Apart from the Turin Shroud, another exhibition was one of the largest collections of ancient Islamic manuscripts in the whole of Europe. Among this exhibition, there was a 750-year-old Quran. Rare Quran leaves were also on display, which illustrate the beauty of Islamic calligraphy through the ages.